Okay, so I'm gonna read this play, and it's really boring, so it's probably gonna take me a couple of streams before I can get to it, but let's start. Okay, a view of the plantation, Terrebonne, in Louisiana. The branch of the Mississippi is seen winding through the state. A low-built but extensive planter's dwelling surrounded by a veranda and raised by a few feet from the ground occupies the left side. A table and chairs right center. Grace discovered in sitting at breakfast table with children. Enters sullen from house. Yeah, you abominable fry, get out. A gentleman can't pass for you. Grace. Get out. Hey, law's a massy, why clear out, drop that banana. I'll murder this your crowd. He chases children about the leaf railing. Them little children is a judgment upon this generation. What's the matter, Pete? It's the black trash, Master George. This here property wants clearing. Them's two numbers round. When I gets time, I'll kill some on them, sure. They don't seem to be scared by the threat. Stop, you varmin. Stop till I get enough of you in one place. Were they all born in this estate? I guess they never was born them things. What them? Get away. Born here, them darkies? What, on Terrebonne? Don't believe it, Master George. Them black things never was born at all. They swarmed one morning on a sassafras tree in the swamp. I catch them. They ain't no count. Don't believe they'll turn out people when they're growed. They'll turn out something else. They'll come out something else. Yes, Master George, they was born here, and old Peace is fonder on them than he is of his fiddle on a Sunday. What, them things, them? Get away. Born here, them darkies. What, on Terrebonne? Don't believe it, Master George, no. Oh, they just said the same thing again? He just said it. One morning they stormed on a sassafras tree in the swamp, and I caught them all on a sieve. That's how they... What? My mom calling me?
Con đang ở đâu á?
Đây nhà.
Con đây con có chạy sang nhà bây giờ được không?
Không.
Thế khi nào con mới sang được?
Khi con rảnh có thời gian.
Con đang làm gì ạ?
Đang học.
Đang học à? Tại vì ta có người hỏi về mướn này, 2 người luôn. Một người Mỹ với một người Mễ. Người Mễ người ta chỉ cần 4 tháng. Người ta bảo người ta trả cao cho mình đấy. Ta đang cần để ta xem nhà mình không sao để ta xuống để ta sửa ấy. Để cho nó kịp người ta vào ấy. Đấy, thì nếu mà con ghé ngang nhăn lên nhìn sơ xem nó có ok không, chỉ cần rác này, nhà nó có phá nhà mình không hay như thế nào không, chụp cho ba tấm 2 tấm thôi, trước người có người gọi cho ba cần gì thôi để xem sao cho ba để ba có cái ba cho ta, người ta mướn, người ta trả lời người ta cơ tại nó đang trả giá, nó đang thử xem là có cho nó mướn 4 tháng không, thì ba mẹ đang xem, còn cái người Mỹ kia thì 1 năm, giờ mẹ sợ là bây giờ cho ta vào thì phải cho ta cái giá mà đang tăng đấy, mình sợ là ông Trump ông mới lên ấy, giá nó thay đổi ấy, kinh tế nó lên đấy.
Okay.
Ba mẹ đang định xem sao ấy, thì nếu được thì con chụp sớm để ta xem, ta trả lời cho họ nhé. Thế con ok không?
Ok.
Được không?
Được.
Thế hôm nay con có đến lớp không?
Không.
Không phải ngày nào con đến lớp hết hả?
Không, đang tuyết hôm nay.
Ồ vậy hả? Giữa ông có tuyết à?
Dạ.
Trời, chắc trường học có đóng cửa rồi gì?
Dạ, mẹ con đang học, con nói cho mẹ sau đó đúng không?
Được, sao. Vậy thôi để nào con bảo chuyện mặt nhá. Bye bye.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. So Pete, you're spoiling these children as usual. That's right, Mrs. Give it to old Pete. He allers in it for it. Sorry, this is like a play. I don't know how to. There's like a lot of words that I have to like kind of censor, and also like it's just kind of in an accent, so it's hard for me to read. Get away here, yeah. If they ain't all lighted like coons on that snake fence just out of shot, look there, them devils. Pete, you hear? Get down there. I'm after you. Hobbles off. You are out early this morning, George. I was up before daylight. We got the horses saddled and galloped down the shell road over the Piney Patch. Then, coasting the Bayou Lake, we crossed on the long Swordswood Paul's path and came home again. You seem already familiar with the name of every spot in the estate. Just 1 month ago, I quitted Paris. I left that siren city as I would have left a beloved woman. No wonder. I dare say you left at least a dozen beloved women there at the same time. I feel like I departed amid a universal and sincere regret. I left my loves and my creditors equally inconsolable. George, you are incorrigible. You remind me so much of your uncle, the judge. Bless his dear old handwriting. It's all I ever saw of him. For 10 years, his letters came every quarter day with a remittance and a word of advice from his formal cavalier style. Then a joke in the postscript that upset the dignity of the foregoing. On when he died 2 years ago, I read over those letters of his, and if I didn't cry like a baby, no, George, you say you wept like a man, and so you really kept those foolish letters. Yes, I kept the letters and squandered the money. Why were you not my son? You were so like my husband. Annie, yes, when I saw him and Miss Zoe galloping to the green sugar cup and doing $10 worth of damage at every stride, says I, how like his uncle he do make the dirt fly. Oh, Aunt, what a bright gay creature he is. What Zoe. Guess that you didn't leave anything female in Europe that can lift an eyelash beside that gal. When she comes along, she just leaves a streak of love behind her. It's a good drink to see her come into the cotton fields. The people get fresh on the sight of her. If she ain't worth her weight in sunshine, you may take one of my fingers off and choose which you like. She need not keep us waiting breakfast, though. Pete, tell Miss Zoe that we are waiting. Yes, Mrs. Why, Minnie, why don't you run off? Why don't you run when you hear you lazy critter? That's the laziest person on this here property. Don't do nothing. My dear George, you are left in your uncle's will heir to this estate. Subject to your life interest and annuity to Zoe, is that not so? I fear that the property is so involved that the strictest economy will scarcely recover it. My dear husband never kept any accounts, and we scarcely know what condition the estate really is. Yes, we do, ma'am. It's in a darn bad condition. Yet 10 years ago, the judge overseer took as overseer a bit of Connecticut harbor called McCloskey. The judge did not understand account. The overseer did. For a year or two, all went fine. The judge drew money like bourbon whiskey from a barrel and never turned off the tap. Burnt it out, flew free for everybody and for anybody, to beg, borrow, or steal. So it went, till one day the judge found the tap one run. He looked in to see what stopped it, and pulled out a big mortgage. Signed that, says the overseer. It's only a formality. All right, says the judge, and went away with 1,000 acres. So at the end of the 8 years, Jacob McCloskey, Esquire, finds himself proprietor of the richest half of Terrebonne, but the other half is free. Okay. I have to kind of find out what's going on. Oh, okay. No, it ain't, because just then what does the judge do but hire another overseer, a Yankee named Salem Scudder. Oh no, it was. Hold on now. I'm going to straighten this account clear out. What was this here Scudder? Well, he lived in New York by sitting with his heels up in front of a French hotel and inventing what? Improvements, anything from a stylus to a fire engine. Well, he cut that for a photographing line. He and his apprentice arrived here, took the judge's likeness and his fancy, who made him overseer right off. Well, sir, what does this Scudder do but introduces his inventions and improvements on this estate? His new cotton gins broke down, his steam sugar mills burst up, until he finished off with folly what Mr. McCloskey with his knavery began. Oh, Salem, what can you say so? Haven't you worked like a horse? No, ma'am, I worked like a donkey, an honest one, that's all. Now, Mr. George, between the two overseers, you and that old lady have come to the ground, and that is the state of things, just as near as I can fix it. To Zoe. Oh, I have not spoiled that anyhow. I can't introduce any darn improvement here that is a cure for old age. It can release your heart up, don't it? Poor child, what will become of her when I'm gone? If you haven't spoiled her, I fear I have. She has the education of a lady. I have remarked she is treated by neighbors with a kind of familiar condescension that annoyed me. Do you know that she's a natural daughter of the judge, your uncle? That lady has just adored anything he cared for, and this girl that the another woman would have hated, she loves as if she'd been her own child. Aunt, I am prouder and happier to be your nephew and heir to the ruins of Terrebonne than I would have been had half Louisiana without you. Am I late? Mr. Scudder, good morning. Thank you. I'm fair to Midland like a bamboo cane. Much the same all year round. This is the most boringest thing I've ever read, and I have like freaking 60 pages of it to read. This is actually crazy. No, like a sugar cane, so dry outside one would never think there was so much sweetness with it. Look here, I can't stand that gal. If I stop here, I shall hook her tight off. If that old person ain't asleep, I'm blamed. Hello. Hi, Debbie's in the pail. Where's breakfast? Missy, Zoe here. There's a dish of pans. Just taste, Master George. And here's fried bananas. Smell them. Do. Saglosh? What does that mean? Hold your tongue, ditto. Where's the coffee? If it don't stain your cup, your wicked old life's in danger. Sure, that's right. Black as person, clear as ice. You may drink that, Master George. Here, Master Sunnyside and Missy Dora just drove up. Some of you people run and hold the horses, and take this ditto. Good day, ma'am. I see we're just in time for breakfast. Oh, none for me. I never eat. They do not know Zoe. You don't see Zoe, Mr. Sunnyside. Zoe girl, are you there? Take my shawl, Zoe. What a good creature she is. I dare say none in Europe. You have never met any lady more beautiful in person or polished in manners than that girl. You're right, sir, though I shrink from expressing that opinion in her presence so bluntly. It may be considered offensive. What? I say, Zoe, you hear that? Mr. Payne is joking. My nephew is not yet acquainted with our customs in Louisiana. He will soon understand. Never on. I shall never understand how to wound the feelings of any lady. And if that is the custom here, I shall never acquire it. Zoe, my dear, what does he mean? I don't know. Excuse me, light a cigar. Isn't he sweet? Oh, dear Zoe. He in love with anybody? How can I tell? Ask him. I want to know. Don't say I told you to inquire, but find out. Minnie, fan me. It is so nice. And his clothes are French, aren't they? I think so. Shall I ask him that too? No, dear. I wish he would make love to me. When he speaks to one, he does it so easily, so gentle. It isn't barroom style. Love lined with drink, size tinged with tobacco. All they say, all women in Paris want in love with him, which I feel I shall be. Stop fanning me. What nice boots he wears. Huh? Huh? Okay, whatever. Yes, ma'am, I hold a mortgage over Terrebonne. Mine's the ninth, and pretty near covers all the property except the slaves. I believe Mr. McCloskey's has a bill on them. Oh, here he is. Good morning, Mr. McCloskey. Good morning, Mr. Sunnyside. Miss Dora, your servant. Fan me, Minnie. I don't like that man. Insolent as usual. You begged me to call this morning. I hope I'm not intruding. My nephew, Mr. Peyton. Oh, how do you do, sir? A puppy, if he brings any of his European heirs here, will fix him. Zoe, tell Pete to give my mare a feed, will you, sir? Hello, did I tread on you? What is the matter? What is the matter with George? Go, Minnie, tell Pete, run. Grace, attend to Mr. McCloskey. A julep, gal, that's my breakfast, and a bit of cheese. How can you ask that vulgar ruffian to your table? Hospitality in Europe is a courtesy. Here it is a courtesy. Here it is an obligation. We tender food to a stranger, not because he's a gentleman, but because he is hungry. I will take my rifle down to the Achel I don't know. Paul has promised me a beer in a year or two. I will see my little Nimrod yonder with his Indian companion. Excuse me, ladies. Ho, Paul. Is Master George? I don't know what that means. I is. Okay. It's a shame to allow that young cub to run over the swamps and woods, hunting and fishing his life away instead of hoeing cane. The child was a favorite of the judge, who encouraged his gambols. I couldn't bear to see him put to work. Come, Paul, are you ready? Is Master George? I guess. I is Master George. Oh golly, I ain't that pooty gun. See here, you imps, like if I catch you and your redskin yonder gunning in my swamps, I'll give you a rat's mind them vagabonds when the game's about shoot my pigs. I literally don't know what any of that means. You give me rent in Mr. Claus Street, but I guess you take a very long stick to one naughty. Ugh, he made bacon of you. Make bacon of me, you young whelp. Does that mean I'm a pig? Hold on a bit. Oh, sir, don't, pray don't. Darn you, redskin, I'll pay you off someday, both of you. Huh? The Indian is a nuisance. Why don't he... Huh? To return to his nation out west. He's too fond thieving and whiskey. No, Wanati is a gentle, honest creature and belongs here. Remains here when he loves that boy with the tenderness of a woman. When Paul was taken down with the swamp fever, the Indian sat outside the hut. He never ate, slept, or spoke for 5 days till the child could recognize and call him to his bedside. He who loved so well is honest. Don't speak ill of poor Wanati. Wanati, will you go back to your people? Sluh. Huh? He don't understand. He speaks a mashup of Indian, French, and Mexican. Wanati Patira no Paul Aga Wigiran. Wheel Omeni. He says he'll go if I go with him. He calls me Omeni the pigeon, and Miss Zoe is Ninamusha the sweetheart. Ninamusha. No, Wanati, we can't spare Paul. If Omeni remain, Wanati will die in Terabon. Now I'm ready. Zoe's going. I want him to stay and make love to me. That's what I came for today. George, I can't spare Paul for an hour or two. He must run over to the landing. The steamer from New Orleans passed up the river last night, and if there's a mail, they have thrown it ashore. I saw the mailbags lying in the shed this morning. I expected a letter from Liverpool away from you, Paul. Bring the mailbags here. I'm most afraid to take Monati to the shed. There's rum there. Rum. Come then, but if I catch you drinking, oh, laws of mussy, you'll get snakes. I'll give it to you. Now mind. Come, Miss Dora, let me offer my arm. Mr. George, I'm afraid all we hear is you led a dreadful life in Europe. That's a chance to begin a description of my feminine adventures. You have been in love then? 249 times. Let me relate to you the worst cases. No. I'll put the naughty parts in French. I won't hear a word. Oh, you horrible man. Go on. Now, ma'am, I'd like a little business, if agreeable. I bring you news. Your banker, Ola Fouché of New Orleans, is dead. The executors are winding up his affairs and have foreclosed all overdue mortgages, so Terrebonne is for sale. Here's the Picayune producing paper with advertisement. Terrebonne for sale. Terrebonne for sale for you, sir, will doubtless become its purchaser. Well, ma'am, I suppose there's no law against my bidding for it. Bro, let me read this video. Let me watch this video.
Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
I'm so bored, bro. I wish I couldn't have to do this. It's only 30 minutes. Okay. The more bitters, the better for you to care, I guess. I don't go too cheap. Oh, sir, I don't value this place for its price, but for the many happy days I've spent here. The landscape, flat and uninteresting though it may be, is no charm for me. Those poor people born around me, growing up about my heart, have bonded my view for life. And now to lose that homely scene, lose their black, ungainly faces, oh, sir, perhaps you should be as old as I am to feel what as I do when my past life is torn away from me. I'd be darn glad if somebody would tear my past life away from me. Sorry I can't help you, but the fact is you're in such an all-fired mess that you can be pulled out without a derrick. Yes, there's a hope left, and I cling to it. The house is of Mason Brothers of Liverpool, and failed some 20 years ago in my husband's debt. They owed him over $50,000. I cannot find the entry in my husband's account, but you, Mr. McCloskey, can doubtless detect it. Zoe, bring here the judge's old desk. It is in the library. You don't expect to cover any of this old debt, do you? Yes, the firm recovered itself, and I received a notice 2 months ago that some settlement must be anticipated. Why, with you capital and interest, this debt has been more than doubled in 20 years. It may be years yet before it will be paid off, if ever. There's a chance that there's not a planner Around here, who wouldn't lend up the whole cash to keep your name and blood amongst us? Cheer up, old friend. Sunny said, how good you are like my poor Peyton. Huh? Curse their old families, they cut me. A bilious, conceited, thin, or dried up aristocracy. I hate them. Just because my grandfather wasn't some broken down Virginia transplant or a stinky old Creole, I ain't fit to sit down and say meat at them. It makes my blood so hot I can feel my heart hiss. I'll sweep those Peytons from the section of the country. Their presence keeps alive the reproach against me that I ruined them, that if this money should come, bah, there's no chance of it. Then if they go to take the Zoe, she'll follow them. Darn that girl, she makes me quiver when I think of her. She took me for all I'm worth. Oh, here, do you know what annuity the old judge left you is worth today? It's not a pecan. It's surely worth the love that dictated it. Here are the papers and the accounts. Stop, Zoe, come here. How would you like to rule the house of the richest planter on Achapalaga, eh? Or just say the word, and I'll buy this old Herrick. You shall be the mistress of Terrebonne. Oh, sir, do not speak so to me. Why not? Look here, those Peytons are bust to cut 'em. I am rich, join me. I'll set up Gurnand. We'll give these first families here are dust, and you'll see other white skins shrivel up with hate and rage. What do you say? Let me pass. Oh, pray let me go. Well, you won't you? If young George Peyton was to make you the same offer, you jump at it pretty darn quick, I guess. Come, Zoe, don't be a fool. I'd marry you if I could, but you know I can't, so just say what you want. Here, then, I'll put these Peytons back in Terrebonne, and they shall know you done it. Yes, they'll have you to thank for saving them from ruin. Do you think they would live here on such terms? Why not? We'll hire out our slaves and live on their wages. But I'm not a slave. No. If you were, I'd buy you. If you cost all I'm worth. Let me pass. Stop. Let her pass. Huh? Let her pass. Is that you, Mr. Overseer? Yes, I'm here somewhere interfering. A pretty mess you got this estate in. Yes, me and Co. We've done it. But as you were senior partner in the concern, I reckon you got the big lick. What do you mean? Let me proceed by illustration. Look there. Do you see that tree? It's called a live oak. It's a native here. Beside it grows a creeper. Year after year, that creeper twines its long arms around the tree, sucking the earth dry about its roots, living on its life, overrunning its branches until the last live oak withers and dies out. Actually, here, I need to put on some, like, sticky notes. So this is, like, sticky note number 1. Living less life. Do you know what that the people around here call that sight? They call it the Yankee hugging the Creole. Mr. Scudder, I listened to a great many of your insinuations, and now I like to come to understanding what they mean. If you want a quarrel, know I'm the scurriest critter at a fight you'll ever see. My legs have been too well brought up to stand and see my body abused. I take good care of myself, I can tell you, because I had heard that you traduced my character. Traduce, whoever says a lied. I always said you were the darndest thief that escaped a white jail to misrepresent the North to the South. What? Take your hand down. Take it down. Whenever I get into a company like yours, I always start with the advantage on my side. What do you mean? I mean that before you could draw that Bowie knife you wear down your back, I'll cut you to shingles. Keep quiet. Let's talk sense. You wanted to come to understanding. I'm coming there as quick as I can. Now, Jacob McCloskey, you despise me because you think I'm a fool. I despise you because I know you to be a knave. Between us, we've ruined these Peytons. You fired the judge. I finished off the widow. Now I feel bad about my share of the business. I give half of the balance of my life to wipe out my part of the work. Many a night I've laid awake and thought how to pull them through, till I've cried like a child over the sum I couldn't do. And you know how darn hard it is to make a Yankee cry. Well, what's that to me? Hold on, Jacob. I'm coming to that. I tell you, I'm such a fool. I can't bear the feeling. It keeps at me like a skin complaint. And if this family is sold up, what then? I cut my throat or yours. Yours I'd prefer. Would you now? Why don't you do it? 'Cause I'm scared to try. I never killed a man in my life, and civilization is too strong in me. I guess I couldn't do it. I like to, though. And all the sake of that old woman and that young puppy, eh? No cause to hate, to envy me, to be jealous of me, eh? Jealous, what for? That's the color in your face. Do you think I can't read you like a book? With your New England hypocrisy, you'd persuade yourself that it is in this family alone you cared for. It ain't, you know it ain't. It is the octoroon. You love her, and you love her as I do, and you hate me because I'm your rival. That's where the tears come from, Salem Scudder. If you shed any, that's where the shoe pinches. Well, I do like the gal. She's in love with young Peyton. It made me curse. Where it made you cry, as it does now. I see the tears on your cheeks now. Look at him, Jacob. For they are honest water from the well of truth. I ain't ashamed of it. I do love the gal, but I ain't jealous of you, because I believe the only sincere feeling about you is your love for Zoe, as it does your heart good to have the image there. But I believe you to put there to spile. By fair means, I don't think you can get her. And don't you try to foul with her. Okay. Interesting things going on right now. Can't understand 50% of it, but you know. Because if you do Jacob Civilization Beyond, I'm on you like a painter, and I'm going to draw it out. I'm pising. What the frick does that mean? But whatever. Fair or foul, I'll have her. Take that home with you. What's here? Judgments? Yes, plenty of them. Bill of costs. Account with it and bank. What's this? Judgment? What is it? Hold on. This word's taking two. Is this in this desk? The judge used to keep one paper I want. This should be it. The free papers of my daughter Zoe. Registered February 4th. Why, Judge, wasn't you a lawyer enough to know that judgment stood against you? It was a lien on your slaves. Zoe is your child by a quadroon slave, and you didn't free her. Blood, if this is so, she's mine. This old Liverpool debt that may cross me if it only arrived too late. If it don't come by this mail, hold on. This letter be the old lady expects. That's it. Let me only head off with that letter. Terrebonne will be sold before they can recover it. That boy and the Indian have gone down to the landing of the post bag. Though idle on their way as usual, my mare will take me across the swamp, and before they can reach the shed, I'll purify the bags. Never a letter shall show this mail. Ha ha. Pete, you old turkey buzzard, sat on my mare. Then if I sink every dollar I'm worth in her purchase, I'll own that octoroon. Just turn your face a little this way. Fix your, let's see, look here. So, actually, let me write down what happened in Act 1 because it's a lot of things. So like, I guess first Mrs. P is in debt. And then, like, both McCloskey and I think the other guy, like, his name's S. Scudder. Scudder loves Zoe. And then Dora loves George. I don't know about love, but Zoe is pretty, and then George is a hoe. Okay. Anyways, let's move on. Just turn your face a little this way. Fix your, let's see, look here. So, that's right. It's such a long time I did this sort of thing, and this machine has got so dirty and stiff it won't operate. That's right. And I don't stir. Ugh, she look as though she's gonna have a tooth drawn. I got 4 plates already in case we missed the first shot. One of them is prepared with self-developing liquid that I've invented. I hope it'll turn out better than most of my notions. Now fix yourself. Are you ready? Ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now it's looking Law's mussy. Lord have mercy, I feel it all inside. If I was at a lottery. That's enough. What are you doing here, you young varmint? Ain't you took the beds to the house yet? No, I ain't used to trying to get mad, Master Scudder. I'm going. I only come back to find one naughty. What is that ignorant Indian? Oh, actually, let me see. Let me write down one thing. Naughty. I'll go away with George. Okay. Where is that? You find him scenting around Rum's door, hitched up by the nose. Say, Master Scudder, take me in that telescope. Get out, you cub. Clear out. You got 4 of them dishes ready. Gosh, when did I have myself took? What's the charge, Master Scudder? Job had none of the critters on his plantation, else he never had stood so many chapters. Well, that has come out clear, ain't it? Oh, beautiful, look, Mr. Peyton. Yes, very fine. The apparatus can't mistake. When I traveled around with this machine, the holy folks used to sing out, "Hello, mister, this ain't like me." "Ma'am," says I, this apparatus can't mistake. But, mister, that ain't my nose. Ma'am, your nose drawed it. This machine can't air. You may mistake your fizz, but the apparatus don't. But, sir, it ain't agreeable. No, ma'am, the truth seldom is. Master Scudder, Hello, what are you blowing out like a steamboat with one wheel for? You blow Mrs. Sweater when I told you there's a man from New Orleans that just arrived at the house. He stuck up 2 papers on the gate for sale, this your property, and a heap of other things. And he seen Mrs. And after he sewn some papers, she burst out crying. I yelled, them the curious of little people they set up. Then the whole plantation children, the livestock reared up and created a perspiration of lamentation, as did the old heart. Good to hear. What's the matter? He's come. That's it, I saw him. The sheriff of New Orleans has taken possession. Terrebonne is in the hands of the law. Oh, Mr. Sutter. Dora, Mr. Peyton, come home. There are strangers in the house. Okay. There are things to write here. Okay. Stay, Mr. Peyton. Zoe, a word. Zoe, the more I see him, George Peyton, the better I like him, but he is too modest. That is a very impertinent virtue in a man. I am no judge, dear. Of course not, you little fool. No one ever made love to you, and you can't understand. What? I mean that George knows I am an. Huh? I mean that George knows I am heiress. My fortune would release this estate from debt. Oh, I see. If he only proposed to marry me, as I would accept him, but he don't know that, and he will go on fooling this slow European way. It is until it is too late. What's to be done? You tell him. What he is and to go on fooling in his slow. No, you goose, twit him on his silent and abstraction. I'm sure it's plain enough. He hasn't spoken 2 words to me all the day, and joke around the subject. At last, speak out. Pete, as you came here to pass Paul and the Indian with the better bags, no, sir, but them vagabonds never take the straight road they goes by the swamp. Come, sir, now's your time. Mr. Sutter, take us with you. Mr. Peyton is too slow. There's no getting him on. They are gone. Poor fellow, he has lost all. Poor child, how sad he looks now as he has no resource. How should I ask him to stay? Zoe, will you remain here? I wish to speak to you. Well, that saves trouble. By our ruin, you'll lose all. Oh, nothing. Think of yourself. I can think of nothing but the image that remains face to face with me. So beautiful, simple, confiding, the idea not express the feelings that have grown up so rapidly in my heart. He means Dora. If I dare to speak, that is just what you must do. Do it at once, or it'll be too late. Has my love been divined? It has been more than suspected. Zoe, listen to me. I shall see this estate pass from me without a sigh, for it possesses no charm for me. That the wealth I cover is the love of those around me. Eyes that are too rich in fond looks, lips that breathe endearing words. The only estate I value is the heart of one true woman, and the slaves I'd have are her thoughts. George, your words take away my breath. The world, Zoe, the free struggle of minds and hands is before me. The education bestowed on me by my dear uncle is a noble heritage which no sheriff can seize. With that, I can build up a fortune, spread a roof over the heads I love, and place before them the food I've earned. I will work. Work! I thought no one but colored people worked. Work, Zoe, is the salt that gives flavor to life. Dora said you were slow. If she could hear you now. Zoe, you are young. Your mirror must have told you that you are beautiful. Is your heart free? Free, of course it is. You haven't known each other but a few days, but to me those days have been worth all the rest of my life, Zoe. You have suspected the feeling that now commands me in utterance. You have seen that I love you. Me! You love me! As my wife, the share of my hopes, ambitions, and my sorrows. Under the shelter of your love, I watch the storms of fortune pass unheeded by. My love, my love. George, you know not what you say. I, the share of your sorrows, your wife. Do you know what I am? Your birth, I know it. Has not my dear aunt forgotten it? She who had the most right to remember it. You are illegitimate, but love knows no prejudice. Alas, he does not know, he does not know. And will despise me, spurn me, loathe me when he learns he has so loved. George, oh, you forgive me. Yes, I love you. I did not know it until your words showed me what has been in my heart. Each of them awoke a new sense, and now I know how very unhappy I am. Zoe, what have I said to wound you? Nothing, but you must learn what I thought you already knew. George, you cannot marry me. The laws forbid it. Forbid it. There's a gulf between us. As wide as your love, as deep as my despair. But oh, you tell me. Say you will pity me. That you will pity me. That you will not throw me from me like a poison thing. Zoe, explain yourself. Your language fills me with shapeless fears. And what shall I say? My mother says, no, not her. Why should I refer to blame to her? George, do you see the hand you hold? Look at these fingers. Do you see the nails are of a bluish tinge? Yes, near the quick there is a faint blue mark. Look at my eyes. Is it not the same color in the white? It is their beauty. Do you see the roots of my hair is the same dark fetal mark? Do you know what that is? No, that is an ineffable curse of Cain, of the blood that feeds my heart. One drop in 8 is black, bright red as the rest may be. At one drop poisons all the flood. Those 7 bright drops give me love like yours, hope like yours, ambition like yours, life hung from passions like dewdrops in the morning flowers. But the one black drop gives me despair, for I'm an unclean thing, forbidden by laws. I'm an octoroon. Zoe, I love you nonetheless. The knowledge brings no revolt to my heart, but I can overcome the obstacle. But I cannot. We can leave this country and go far away where no one can know. And our mother, she from whom from infancy treated me with such fondness, she, as you said, had most reason to spurn me. Can she forget what I am? Would she gladly say you've wedded the child of her husband's slave? No, she would revolt from it, as all but you would. If I consented to hear the cries of my heart, if I did not crush out my infant love, what would she say of the poor girl whom she bestowed on me so much? No, no. Zoe, we must immolate the lives on her prejudice? Yes, for I'd rather be black than ungrateful. George, our race has at least one virtue and knows how to suffer. Each word you utter makes my love sink deeper into my heart, and I remain here to induce you to offer that heart to Dora. If you bid me, I will obey you. No, no, if you cannot be mine, let me not blush when I think of you. Dear Zoe. She loves him, I felt it, and how can she love? That one drop of black blood burns in her veins and lights up her heart like a foggy sun. Oh, how I laughed her up her words like a lusty bloodhound. Thirsty bloodhound. If I'll have her, if it costs me my life. Yonder the boy who still lurks with those meal bags, the devil still keeps him here to tempt me. Darn his yellow skin. I arrived just too late. He had grabbed the prize and I came up. Hello, he's coming this way, fighting with his Indian, Nguyen, or something like that. It ain't no use now, you got to give it up. Ugh. It won't do. You got that bottle of rum hid under your blanket. Give it up now, you Yar. You lasting and lying Indian. It is no use putting on airs. I ain't gonna sit up with you all night and you drunk. Hello? Where's the crowd gone? And there's the partis. Oh, if I could take a likeness of this child. Let's have a peep. Oh, golly, yeah, you will not tea. You stand there, I see you. Them ta demean usti, or something like that. No, tu wanati? What? Haha, thinks he's a gun. You ignorant Indian, it can't hurt you. Stop, here's some dishes, plates, that's what they call them, all fixed. I see Master Glitter do it often. I think I can take likeness. Stay there, Wanati. No, Carabin too? I must operate and take my own likeness too. How devil I do that? Can't be over there and here too. I ain't twins. Ugh. Top, you look, you Wanati, you see this rag, eh? When I say go, you then lift this rag like this. See, then run to that pine tree up there and back again, and then pull down the rag. Do you see? Huh? You have glass of rum. Rum? That wakes him up. Cute Wanati and Omeni sit. Go, Wanati, point at the lafa comb, a pine tree. Lafria, sala, lafa, fire water. Yes, then a glass of fire water, now then. Pret, now then go. Where are they? Yonder goes the Indian. That time he gone just about enough to cook that dish plate. Yonder is the boy. Now is my time. What is he doing? Is he asleep? He's sitting on my prize. Darn his carcass. I'll clear him off there. He'll never know what stunned him. Damn that Indian. Is that him creeping there? I move fear to spill myself. Hurrah, the bags are mine. Now for it. What's here? Sunnyside, Poindexter, Jackson, Peyton. Here it is. A Liverpool postmark. Sure enough, madam, we are instructed by the firm of Mason and Co. to inform you that a dividend of 40 cents per payable on the first proximo. This amount in consideration of possession they send herewith. You'll find enclosed by draft to your order on the back of Louisiana, which please acknowledge the balance will be paid in full, which interest in 3, 6, and 9 months. Your draft on Mason Brothers at these dates will be accepted by La Police and Company NO, so that you may command immediate use of the whole amount at once if required. Yours, James Brown. What a find! This infernal letter would have saved all. But I guess it will arrive too late. These darn U.S. mails are to blame. The Indian, he must not see me. Damn. Okay, so Okay. It is 2:49. I don't know if I'll have enough time to read the third act, but I will try my best. It is a very long act, but let's try. Okay. This way, this way. This way, gentlemen. Now, sullen grace, days hot and thirsty, sangry, brandy, rum. What do you say, the fuchsia smile? I hope we don't intrude on the family. You see that hole in there, sir? I was raised on this your plantation. Never see no door in it. It always open, sir, for a stranger to walk in, and for substance to walk out. Fine set and style that, eh? A fine, well-built old family mansion, replete with every comfort. There's one name on the list of slave scratched, I see. Yes, number 49, Pollock, quadroon boy, age 13. He's missing. Run away, I suppose. No, sir. People never get stuck on Terrebonne. That boy's dead, sure. What became Paul, as we called him, that used to come aboard my boat, that poor darky? I hope not. Many a Pecan he picked up for his dance and people's songs, and he supplied our table with fish and game from the bayous. Never supply no more, sir, never dance again. Master Rats, you heard him sing about the place where the good people go the last time? Well, he gone there himself, I think so. 'Cause we missed Paul for some days, but never to nothing, until one night that Indian Winoti suddenly stood right there amongst us. He was in his war paint, and mighty cold and grave. He sit down by the fire. Where Paul, I say. He smoke and smoke, but never look out of the fire. Well, knowing them critters, I wait a long time. When he say, Winoti, great chief, then I say nothing. Smoke another time, at last rising to go. He turned around at the door and say very low, oh, like a woman's voice. He say, oh, many pig good. That is, Paul is dead. Never see him since. That redskin killed him. So we believe, and so are mad at the folks around that if they catch the redskin, they'll lynch him, sure. Lynch him, burn his copper carcass. I got a set of Irish deckhands aboard that just love that child, and after I tell them this, let them get a set of the redskin, I believe they would eat him, tomahawk and all. Poor little Paul. What was he worth? Well, near on $500. What, sir? You pretend to be sorry for Paul and prize him like that? $500? $1,000, Master Thibaudot. Gentlemen, the sale takes place at 3. Good morning, Colonel. It's near that now. It's still the sugar house is to be inspected. Good day, Mr. Thibaudot. Shall we drive down that way? Mr. Lafouche, why, how do you do, sir? You're looking well. Let me write down some things. People think that people are thinking things that should not be thought. Okay, first let's say people think Law killed Paul. Okay. I can't return the compliment. Sam was looking kinder, hollowed out. What, Mr. Reggs, are you invested in swamps? No, I want a person. What? What's that? Mr. Sunnyside, I cannot do this job showing around the folks. My stomach goes against it. I want Pete here a minute. I'll accompany him then, certainly. Will you? Thank you. We must excuse Scudder, friends. We'll see you around the state. Good morning, Miss Payne. This way, gentlemen. I say, I like to sum it off to the cold old woman. It wouldn't go out, would it? No, leave it alone. Darn it. When I see a woman in trouble, I feel like selling the skin off my back. Go outside there, listen to what you hear, then go down to the quarters and tell the boys, for I can't do it. Oh, get out. He said I want a person. Lord have mercy. What am I going to come about this? My dear aunt, why do you not move from this painful scene? Go with Dora to Sunnyside. What? No, George, your uncle said to me with his dying breath, Nellie, never leave Terrebonne, and I never will leave it till the law compels me. Mr. George, I'm going to say something that's been choking me for some time. I know you'll excuse it. That Miss Dora, that girl's in love with you. Her eyes are staring out of her head with it. Now, with this unfortunate would dream a good part of this estate. Why, George, I never suspected this. I did, aunt, I confess, but... Are you hesitated from motives of delicacy? No, ma'am. Here's the plan of it. George is in love with Zoe. Scudder. George. Hold on now. Things have gotten so jammed on top of us. We ain't got time to put kids' gloves on to handle them. He loves Zoe. He has found out that she loves him. Well, that's all right. But as he can't marry her, and as Miss Dora would jump at him. Why didn't you mention this before? Why? Because I love Zoe too, and I couldn't take that young fella from her. She's just living on the side of him, as I saw her do, and they so happy in spite of this here misery around them. And they were poaching themselves without feeling as they ought. I've seen it, I tell you, and darn it, ma'am, can't you see that's what's been hauling me out? So I beg your pardon. Oh, George, my son, let me call you. I do not speak for my own sake, not for the loss of this day, but for the poor people here. They will be sold, divided, and taken away. They have been born here. Heaven has denied me children. So all the strings of my heart have grown around and amongst them like fibers and roots of an old tree in its native hearth. Oh, let all go, but save them. With them around us, if we have not wealth, we shall at least have the home that they alone can take. My dear mother, Mr. Scudder, you teach me what I ought to do. If Miss Sunnyside will accept me as who I am, Terrebonne shall be saved. I shall sell myself, but the slave shall be protected. Sell yourself, George. Is not Dora worth any man's? Don't say that, ma'am. Don't say that to a man that loves another gal. He's going to do a heroic act. Don't spoil it. But Zoe's only an octoroon. She's won this race again and against the white. Anyhow, it's too late now to start her pedigree. Come, Miss Peyton, take my arm. Hush. Here's the other one. She's a little too thoroughbred, too much of a greyhound, but the heart's there, I believe. Poor Miss Peyton. Miss Sunnyside, permit me a word. Feeling a delicacy has been suspended on my lips in a vowel, which, oh dear, has he suddenly come to his senses? In a word, I have seen and admire you. It has a strange way of showing it. European, I suppose. If you would pardon any abruptness in the question, I would ask you, do you think the sincere devotion of my life would make you happy, would it succeed? Well, here's the oddest way of making love. You are silent? Mr. Payne, I presume you have hesitated to make this avowal because you fear in the present condition of affairs here your object might be misconstrued, and that your attention has rather to my fortune than myself. Why don't he speak? I mean, you feared I might not give you credit for sincere and pure feelings. Well, you wronged me. I don't think you capable of anything else then. No, I hesitated because an attachment I had formed before had the pleasure of seeing you had not altogether died out. Some of these sirens of Paris, I presume. I shall endeavor not to be jealous of the past. Perhaps I have no right to be, but now that vagrant love is faded, is it not? Why don't you speak, sir? Huh? Because Miss Sunnyside, I have learned not to lie. I have not learned to lie. Good gracious, who wants you to? I do, but I can't do it. But no, this love I speak of is not such as you suppose. It is a passion that has grown up here since I arrived. But it is a hopeless, mad, wild feeling that must perish. Here, since you arrived, impossible. You have seen no one. Whom can you mean? Me. Zoe. You. Forgive him, Dora. Wait, what? For him, Dora, well, for he knew no better until I told him. Dora, you are right. He is incapable of any but sincere but impure feelings. So are you. He loves me. What of that? You know you can't be jealous of a poor creature like me. If he caught the fever, stung by a snake, possessed of any other poisonous or unclean thing, you would pity, tend, and love him through it. For your gentle care, he would love you in return. Well, is he not thus afflicted now? For I am his love. He loves an octoroon. Oh, Zoe, you break my heart. At college, they said I was a fool. I must be. At New Orleans, they said she's pretty, very pretty, but no brains. I'm afraid they must be right, because I can't understand a word of all this. Dear Dora, try to understand with your heart. You love George. You love him dearly. I know it. And you deserve to be loved by him. He will love you. He must. For his love for me will pass away. It shall. You heard him say it was hopeless. Oh, forgive him and me. Oh, why did he speak to me at all then? You've made me cry. Then, and I hate you both. I'm sorry to intrude, but the business I came upon will excuse me. Here is my nephew, sir. Perhaps I had better go. Well, as it concerns you, perhaps you better had. Concerns, Zoe. I don't know. She may as well hear the whole of it. Go on, Colonel Poindexter. Ma'am, the mortgage auctioneer and general agent. Pardon me, ma'am, but do you know these papers? Yes, sir. They were the free papers of the girl Zoe, but they were in my husband's secretary. How come they came into your possession? I found them. And you purloined them? Hold on, you see. Go on, Colonel. The list of your slaves is incomplete. It wants one. The boy Paul, we know it. No, sir. We have omitted the octoroon girl, Zoe. Me. At the time the judge executed those free papers to his infant slave, a judgment stood recorded against him. While that was on record, he had no right to make away with his property. The judgment still exists. Under that and others, this estate is still to say those free papers worth of sand that's on him. Zoe's a slave, it is impossible. It isn't certain, ma'am. The judge was negligent and doubtless forgot this small formality. But the creditors will not claim the gal. Excuse me, one of the principal mortgages had made the demand. Hold your George Paxton, you sit down there. You're trembling, so you'll fall down directly. This blow has staggered me some. Oh, Zoe, my child, don't think hardly of your poor father. I shall do so if you weep. See, I'm calm. Calm as a tombstone, and with about as much life I see in your face. It cannot be, it shall not be. Hold your tongue, it must be calm. Darn the things. The proceeds of this sale won't cover the debts of the estate. Concern those Liverpool English fellers. Why wouldn't they send something by the last mail? Even a letter promising something, such as the feeling around amongst the planners. Darn me if I couldn't raise 30,000 on the envelope alone and 10,000 more on the postmark. Zoe, they shall not take you from us while I live. Don't be a fool, they'd kill you. And then take her as soon as. Stop, Old Sonny said. He'll buy her. That'll save her. Okay, so I think that person killed Paul, and then Dora finds out George loves Zoe. And then Zoe is actually not free. Okay. And that'll save her. No, it won't. We have confessed to Dora that we love each other. How can she then ask her father to free me? What in thunder made you do that? Because it was the truth. I had rather be a slave with a free soul than remain free with a slavish, deceitful heart. My father gives me freedom. At least he thought so. May heaven bless him for the thought. Bless him for the happiness he spread around my life. You see, the proceeds of the sale will not cover his debts. Let me be sold then, that I may free his name. I give him back the liberty that he bestowed upon me. For I can never repay him with the love he bore his poor obdurate child, or whose breath his last sigh was drawn, unto whose eyes he looked with a last gaze of affection. Oh, my husband, I thank heaven you have not lived to see this day. George, leave me. I would be alone a little while. Zoe. Do not weep, George. Dear George, you now see what a miserable thing I am. Zoe, I wish they could sell me. I brought half this ruin on this family with all my fixed empire, all fired improvements. I deserve to be a person this day. I feel like one inside. Go now, George, leave me, take her with you. Slave a slave, is this a dream? For my brain reels with the blow. He said, so what? Then I shall be sold. Sold in my master? Oh. No master but one. George, hush. They come, save me. No, 'tis Peter and his servants. They come his way. Come here now, stand round, because I've got to talk to you darkies. Keep the children quiet. Don't make no noise. The missus up there hear us. Go on, Pete. Gentlemen, my colored friends and ladies, there's mighty bad news gone round. This here property to be sold. Old Terrebonne, where we have all been raised, is gone. They going to take away. Can't stop here no how. Ooh. Hold, quench, you trash old people. Think anybody wants you to cry? Who's you to set up screeching? Be quiet, but this ain't all. Now, my cold brethren, now gird up your lines and listen. Hold on to your breath. It's a comin'. We taught that the people would belong to the old missus, and if she lost Terrebonne, we shall live there allers, and we shall hire out and bring our wages to old Miss Peyton. Ha, yeah, well, hush, I tell you, 'tain't so. We can't do it. We've got to be sold. Sold? Will you hush? She will hear you. Yes, I listened there just now. She was old lady crying. Mr. George. Ah, you ain't seen them big tears in his eyes. Oh, Mrs. Scudder, he didn't cry exactly. Both of his eye and cheek looked like bad bayou in low season. So dry that I cry for him. Then say the missus, 'tain't for the land I care, but for them poor people. They'll be sold. That won't stagger me. No, I'd say Master George. I said it rather so myself. Fuss, but they shan't suffer no how. I see them damn fuss. Oh, bless them, bless Master George. Hold your tongues. Yes, for you and for me, for the little ones, for them folks cried. Now then, if Grace there with her children were all sold, she'll be again screeching like a cat. She didn't mind how kind old Judge was to her, and sullen too. He'll holler and break the old lady's heart. No, Pete, no, I won't. I will bear it. I don't think you'll be any more, but this here will, because the family spoiled Dido they has. She never was worth much that person. How dare you say that, you black person, you? I fetch as much as any other cook in Louisiana. What's the use of your taking it kind and comforting the Mrs. Hart? If Minnie there and Louise and Maria and Julia is to spile at, no, won't. Pete, we won't. There, do you hear that? You miserable darkies, them gals is worth a boatload of kinder men than is. Come for the pride of the family. Let every darky look his best for the judge's sake. Let old man be so good to us, and that old woman that from strangers from New Orleans shall say, them happy darkies, them fine set of people. Everyone say when he's sold, Lord bless this your family, and I'm gone out of and send me as good a home. We'll do it, Peter. We'll do it. Hush, hark. Tell you somebody's in there. Who is it? It's Missy Zoe. See. Come along. She hear what we say, and she's crying for us. No, none of you ignorant people could cry for yourselves like that. Come here, quiet. Now, quiet. Oh, must I learn from these poor wretches how much I owe and how I ought to pay the debt? Have I slept upon the benefits I received and never saw, never felt, never knew that I was forgetful and ungrateful? Oh, my father, my dear father, forgive you, poor child. You made her life too happy, and now her tears will flow. And let me hide till I teach my heart. Oh, my heart. Bro. Okay, I don't have enough time for this. It's 3:05, so I shall return in maybe like read, play, finance. Okay, I'm gonna do my finance notes for an hour and then I'm gonna come back.